Tonight, chaotic scenes.
We are fight against each other, but mostly we got hit because we know they are minor.
A London restaurant and the confrontation with teenagers leading to charges. Plus, legislative pushback.
Once we start chipping away at powers like that, that's very dangerous for our school system.
The struggle for local trustees holding on to their positions. And the magic of lights is back. We're live from the Fanshawe Conservation Area for the return of the holiday tradition.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a police investigation in the city's North End. Officers say they've arrested a teenage suspect accused of threatening staff at a sushi restaurant with a knife. But as Lauren Stallone reports, they weren't the only teen involved.
It was a regular Friday night for Plaza Sushi Masonville owner Won-Suk Chang until a group of high school girls asked if they could use the washroom.
They never come back, and then they grabbed all our belongings.
Chang says they searched through restroom supplies and stole items before leaving the premises. He says shortly after, 2 more girls entered requesting to use the restroom, but he refused. And that's when things took a turn for the worst.
Sometimes the high school girl hit me, and then sometimes the high school boy hit me.
Chang says there was a group of 20 students blocking the restaurant entrance.
Our customer cannot go outside, so that's the reason why I go outside.
He says the group was yelling and throwing garbage.
Beer, empty can, and they already have a beer, and then I saw the marijuana over there.
CCTV footage obtained by CTV News shows restaurant employees catching wind of the altercation and rushing to help.
We are fight against each other, but mostly we got hit because we know they are minor.
Chang says a male student pulled a knife out of his pocket and threatened to stab him.
When a second employee intervened, the teen threw a water ball at him before fleeing the area on foot.
London police arrived on scene shortly after and were able to locate and arrest the youth.
A 16-year-old male of London who cannot be named under the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act has been charged with a number of offenses.
Chang says he has sustained a number of injuries as a result of the chaos, including an injury to his jaw and a large contusion on his thigh from a heavy metal object.
This is kind of their stage.
Chang says he hopes the incident will encourage parents to teach their children right from wrong. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
London police say no charges were laid after a group of protesters demonstrated in Old South this weekend, seemingly promoting extreme right-wing Nazi ideology. Brian Bicknell reports.
This is dashcam footage from viewer Dave, who doesn't want his last name used. Taken Sunday around noon, it appears to show a group of about 30 people dressed in dark uniforms and masks, standing in formation on the Wortley Road overpass. The group is allegedly stormtroopers, named after the paramilitary wing of the historical Nazi Party in Germany. They're holding a banner up that reads, "Remigration Now." The term refers to a far-right concept of ethnic cleansing via the mass deportation of non-white immigrants and their descendants. Viewer Dave says it has no place in London.
It was a military display of force. People have the right to protest, even those people. They can have a conversation, but presenting themselves in uniforms with masks, in black attire, with a clear message that says all people who aren't white should get out of Canada on a banner in a public space, I would say is more intimidation than conversation.
London police confirmed they were called to the incident, and the group demonstrated for about 20 minutes before leaving. No charges were laid. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Local critics are coming forward calling out the provincial government's new education bill, which received royal assent last week. They say it gives those politicians too much power over local education decisions. With more, here's Rita Ismail.
It's a bill that will reshape how Ontario school boards operate, centralizing several powers under the education minister. And for some trustees, that's a major concern.
Once we start chipping away at powers like that and centralizing them, then that's very dangerous for our school system, because we know that students do best when their parents and their communities are involved in their education.
Despite the pending dissolution of the Thames Valley District School Board this spring, Trustee Marianne Larson says their work advocating for public education will continue.
I see this as losing a battle, but we need to, so to speak, win the war, and that is to preserve elected school boards.
Larson says school boards have been part of this province for more than 2 centuries.
In Ontario, we have had elected school boards since 1816. That is even before we had a country called Canada. They're their oldest form of democracy. And the idea behind them is that you want people who are from the local community, who understand the local community, and are elected by the local community to run your schools and to support students in their learning.
Bill 33 has drawn protests from critics who argue it makes the system less democratic and less responsive to communities. The government says it's about ensuring boards stay focused on their responsibilities.
Bill 33 is all about putting school boards back on track that fall off the rails.
But not all trustees agree. In a statement to CTV News, London District Catholic School Board Chair Gabe Pizzuti says Bill 33 would lead to closed-door meetings, reduced transparency, and less access for families. Among the changes included in Bill 33, the minister can now order investigations more easily and take control of a board if it fails to comply. New provincial oversight of board finances, and mandatory public posting of certain expenses, a requirement for boards to work with local police service and allow school resource officer programs, and new rules around school naming. Boards must get ministerial approval. Bill 33 is now in force, with some provisions set to roll out over the coming months. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Good evening. It was a frosty start to the day, but temperatures this afternoon on the mild side and well above normal. London hitting 9 degrees. Now, we do have a warm front off to the north, and it has a little bit of moisture with it, but a lot of this not really hitting the ground until you move towards North Bay and then into parts of Quebec, where we are seeing a rain-snow mix and some significant snowfall associated with a warm front. That really not impacting our weather tonight, but we will start to see moisture coming up from the southwest. So a couple things happening with this forecast. We have this cold front off to the northwest that's going to slowly start to approach, and then warm southerly air comes in for tomorrow. We have some showers in the forecast, so we are expecting some rain through your Tuesday, but mild overnight. Temperatures holding above freezing. We'll dip down to about 4 degrees at midnight, and that's where we'll stay through the overnight. Coming up, I'll take you through the forecast. We have a wild week of weather on the way, with snow squalls invading Midwestern Ontario, potential for a multi-day snow squall event. Lots of weather to get to tonight. I'll have all your local details coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Julie. Police in Aylmer say they've charged a 30-year-old daycare worker accused of spanking one of the children in her care. According to police, the child was not injured, and the woman has since been fired from her position.
How it played out was it was a one-to-one, the worker with the child, and the child was acting out. So the worker pushed the child down onto a cot and then spanked the child on the buttocks. Any unwanted touching or contact with another person, and they were in care of that child, and in our determination, it met the threshold of an assault.
Turnover today at the London Police Services Board, swearing in a new member while another steps away. As Jerry Dewan reports, that will still leave an empty seat at the table and questions over who should fill it.
The day started with a swearing-in ceremony for Mike Wallace.
I will, to the best of my ability, discharge my duties as the member of the London Police Service Board.
Wallace is a familiar face at London City Hall, principally in his role advocating for developers as executive director of the London Development Institute. He's also been part of the committee advancing London's whole of community response to health and homelessness. He sees a synergy between his work life and the roles he's taken on in the community.
Building a better London is more than just the housing. It's the quality of life that the people who move to our community will will experience, and a major function of that is how safe they are, and the police play a vital role in making that happen.
The 7-member board is made up of 3 people appointed by the province, the mayor, 2 council members, and a representative appointed by council. Wallace was appointed by the province, and as he was joining the board, it was announced that pediatric dentist Dr. Haley Faulkner, also a provincial appointee, was leaving. And on this day, the board heard from members of the Human Resources team with an emphasis on diversity efforts, which stands in contrast to the all-white board.
The force is becoming more reflective of the City of London, and I think with organizations of this size, you can struggle to try to make the board as diverse as possible, but you'll never be diverse as a large city like London. You can certainly make the organizations reflective of the city.
Morgan and board chair Ryan Goss, who is the council appointee, point to diversity in the police services leadership team, including Chief Ty Trong and Deputy Chief Trina McSween, who is the highest-ranking black female service member in the country. Goss also says the board puts a premium on listening to diverse voices.
This board will stop at nothing to make sure that those opinions are heard, that there are opportunities, whether it be through our strategic plan, whether it be through continuous community consultation, whether it be with consulting with different diverse groups in our community. There's always channels to make sure that that communication happens.
Former Chair Susan Toth resigned in January of 2023, and at that time she lamented the lack of diversity on the 7-member board. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
A barn near Park Hill went up in flames this weekend, destroying the structure and killing livestock trapped inside. As Sean Irvin reports, it's the second barn fire in the area in just over a month.
Smoke rises from the remains of a hog barn destroyed in a weekend fire southwest of Park Hill. The blaze on Elginfield Road broke out shortly before 4 a.m. Sunday morning. The daughter-in-law of the property owner was among the first to rush to the scene, taking this photograph.
It was an absolute crazy amount of smoke going directly towards the house and directly towards town.
North Middlesex Fire Chief Greg Vanden Heuvel tells CTV News that crews from 4 area departments worked defensively to control the blaze. Their greatest challenge was preventing its spread to 2 nearby buildings.
There was a fuel sources that were very close to the building. The fire departments did an absolutely amazing job. They took care of the property, they took care of the fire, and they took care of us, we cannot thank them enough. They did an amazing job.
Although 6 pigs perished in this blaze, the loss could have been far greater. A delivery of animals was scheduled for this week. When combined with livestock sheltered in another barn, the potential loss might have been worse.
A lot of firefighters that worked so diligently, and with the other buildings being close, we saved all we could.
This is the second pig barn fire in this area in just over a month. On October 22nd, an estimated 3,000 pigs died in a blaze on Elm Tree Drive. A damage estimate and cause for Sunday's fire have yet to be determined. The blaze is not considered suspicious. Near Park Hill, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A garage fire has forced residents from their home in North London. Fire crews were called around 3:30 this afternoon to the fire on Bryan Avenue. They say the heat and flames damaged the second floor and filled the attic with smoke. There are no reported injuries, and fire officials say the cause is under investigation.
There's extensive damage to the garage and rear of the house. We had to open up the roof line, and there's extensive smoke damage throughout the residence as well.
Closing arguments today in the case of a tow truck driver accused of killing a London man by running him over more than 3 years ago. 56-year-old Garnet Pridey suffered fatal head injuries when he was run over in a parking lot back in July 2022. The court has heard the 26-year-old Abdul Kazoon was driving the tow truck at the time, but he has pleaded not guilty to dangerous driving causing death and leaving the scene. Today, the Crown argued Kazoon wasn't paying enough attention, while Kazoon's defense argued he did not know he ran over someone. A decision from the judge is not expected until April. A celebration of life was held this weekend in St. Thomas for a 17-year-old girl who was killed in a car crash earlier this month. Brent Lale has more on how her loved ones will remember her.
Thank you for bringing us all here to celebrate the life of our granddaughter, Hadley Dennison.
It was a quirky service for a quirky young woman, singing and dancing to her favorite songs.
As in her 17 years of life, she lived 100.
remaining unapologetically herself, not caring what others thought, standing up for herself and others while still laughing throughout the whole thing.
It was a celebration, but not without sadness and grief.
This is not how it was supposed to be. A young, vibrant woman with so much promise, so much joy, so much love, gone in a moment.
The 17-year-old was killed after a sedan she was riding in collided with a grain truck just east of St. Thomas. She fought in hospital for a few days before the aftermath of the crash took her life.
But Hadley wasn't only full of life, she was full of love. She deeply cared about others.
Dave and Jody Woods spoke about how Hadley befriended their autistic son.
The impact she had on our family will never be forgotten.
And her influence on others was on display when dozens of her mother's co-workers from LHSC took the stage. Hadley had chosen to become an organ donor.
When it became clear what Hadley's final gift would be, Heather's healthcare family prepared for a hero's walk. A moment to honor Hadley's life and the lives she was about to save.
Anything ever happens to me, I want someone else to have the opportunity to have life. This reveals her heart, which was shaped by compassion, by generosity and grace.
Now I will miss the 7:30 text. Can I get a ride to school? Sorry for the short notice. Are you going to church on Sunday? Can I come too?
A beautiful soul full of life and sheer determination to keep on moving through any situation. She will always remain my guiding light in times of trouble.
A kind soul who was always thinking of others, and a young woman a community will never forget.
And I love you guys so much, and I miss you guys so much. I keep you guys close in my heart. So, yeah.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
The Fanshawe Conservation Area has been transformed for the holiday season as the magic of lights takes over much of the park. And for more, we're joined live by Nick Paparella. Nick, what can people expect this year?
Well, Carlyle, what a wonderful way to ring in the holiday season. The magic of lights is on here at the Fanshawe Conservation Area. It looks great. I'm joined now by Kyla Woodcock and two of her three favorite daughters. And Kyla, tell us, the park looks fantastic.
Aw, thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. We're thrilled to be back for our 5th year at Fanshawe Conservation Area for the magic of lights. It's so great.
And tell us, you've got a ton of lights here and wonderful displays.
Always a ton of lights. We've got over 2 million bulbs sparkling bright. There's probably 200, 300 displays out there to see this year for 5 or 6 different colors of bulbs, and they're animated and static, and they're 50 feet tall, and they're 4 feet from the ground, and they're about, I'm going to say 5 kilometers now, 2.5 kilometers long.
All right. And there's been a steady stream of cars going in on a Monday night?
Yes, we're thrilled to have anybody 7 days a week. We're open. So, you can come whenever it suits you on an any-day ticket. We're here.
And tell us, how can people get tickets?
Tickets are available online, magicoflights.com/London. A part of the proceeds from your ticket will go to our charity again this year, Children's Health Foundation. And we're inviting everyone when they're online purchasing their tickets to make an additional donation.
And Kyla, like I said, the entrance looks fantastic. What's some of the reaction from people?
It's just amazing to see the twinkle in the eyes of the kids that come through the show. It brings so much joy. It's my favorite part of the show. I know lots of our visitors love the displays, but I love being here just to see the reaction to the displays.
All right, Kyla and girls, hey, Merry Christmas to you guys. The magic of lights here at Fanshawe Conservation Area until January 3rd. Carla?
Nick Paparella live for us tonight. Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, the provincial government's plans to make defendants pay to get out of custody all before they've been proven guilty. Plus, a pipeline deal between Ottawa and Alberta is at hand, notwithstanding British Columbia's objections.
Tis the season for helping others, and the Business Cares Food Drive is how we can all help Londoners in need. On November 29th and 30th, over 40 participating grocery stores and hundreds of volunteers will be collecting food and donations. Over 40% of people who use the London Food Bank are children, so your support is needed now more than ever. Let's ensure everyone has a happy holiday.
Provincial government officials say they want to force defendants to pay cash security deposits or otherwise be denied bail.
We're coming forward again with bold, innovative, and practical solutions to enhance our public safety. And the reason is obvious. Our government has never stopped in believing that our inherent right to live safely in our own homes and communities is the guiding principle that drives our actions every day to protect Ontario.
Government officials argue the new rules would keep repeat offenders behind bars and claim overall bail compliance would improve. It's getting high-up support from police in Toronto as well.
These additional measures announced today to improve bail compliance and keep repeat violent offenders in custody will make our communities safer. These initiatives are essential to protect the public and prevent crime, restore public trust in the justice system, and support police officers who see firsthand the harm caused to victims by violent criminals.
The legislation is expected to be tabled tomorrow. An agreement in principle is expected this week between the federal government and the Alberta Premier on a new pipeline project. However, that's no guarantee that a pipeline actually gets built because, as Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports, it still has to go through British Columbia.
Another handshake between Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected this week. And with that comes the conclusion of talks about a deal that will set the framework for an oil pipeline from Alberta to the BC coast.
Big picture, what we're looking to do and what we are doing is a series of major investments, nation-building projects that make our country stronger, more independent from the United States.
Sources say the Memorandum of Understanding that's expected to be signed this week will push the pipeline project forward and will necessitate some kind of carve-out from the tanker ban along the BC coast. It's also expected to scrap the planned federal emissions cap, bolster carbon capture, and change the industrial carbon tax. Many environmental groups say the cost of a new oil pipeline isn't worth it.
Definitely not enough is happening here. This is not striking a balance. It is not a grand bargain at all. It's a raw deal.
BC's Premier David Eby is also against a new oil pipeline. Eby says he told Carney today that if it goes ahead, coastal First Nations need to approve and the use of taxpayers' dollars should be limited.
My message to the Prime Minister was that either there should be a cap on the taxpayer dollars invested in this project, or there should be a prohibition on taxpayer dollars invested in this project, or if it is going to be taxpayer funded, that British Columbia get access to a $50 billion federally funded project as well.
Alberta plans to leverage private sector capital to get this pipeline built. But the MOU doesn't guarantee that will ever happen. The federal government says it wants the backing of British Columbia as well as Indigenous communities along the route. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
On the desk now with Julie Atchison, and we were talking off air about how the snow has pretty much disappeared from my front yard at this point, but it does sound like that may change as this week goes on.
Are you ready for some more?
I mean, it feels like we're starting every week the last couple of weeks like that, so I should be getting used to it, I think.
I mean, by the end of the week, we'll definitely have some flurries around, and areas north of the city could be in for what we'll term as a multi-day snow squall event, Carlyle. But today was mild at 9 degrees, so yeah, that snow not really standing a chance out there. Our low temperature coming in at -4, a normal daytime high +5, and we're going to double that tomorrow with a forecast high of 10 degrees. Let's take a look at this satellite radar together. So a couple things to show you tonight. We'll see a southerly flow as we head into tomorrow, which means our temperatures will remain on the mild side. So what's happening is there's a warm front that's generating some showers and then some snow on the northern flank of that. So the warm air just trying to edge in, and that's why there's a bit of mixed precipitation. But this has a cold front associated with it as well, and that cold air not able to pull into southern Ontario just yet. We're going to wait for that one. We do have this moisture off to the south, and that's going to slowly edge into southern Ontario as we head into tomorrow, which means we do have some rain in our forecast. So probability in the morning about a 40% chance, but we'll bump that up as we head through the day. Midwest Midwestern Ontario, you'll have a few showers in your forecast as well. Cold air remains northwest of this cold front. Eventually, this frontal boundary will swing through as we head into Wednesday night, and that's when temperatures are going to take a dive. In the short term, it'll be mild overnight. 4 degrees in London, Midwestern Ontario, 5 degrees along the lakeshore of Huron, and 5 degrees near Lake Erie. We do have some active weather moving across the prairies tonight with a few snowfall warnings in effect and through the southern prairies. Double digits, though, in Thunder Bay. That's all about to change. A winter storm watch is in effect and expecting some heavy accumulating snow in parts of northern Ontario. We could see upwards of 40+ centimeters of snow. Now, for us tomorrow, it will be the rain that moves through. So showers expected under 5 millimeters, about 2 to 4 millimeters of light rainfall. And then heading into the afternoon, still a few showers around. That rain will push through Midwestern Ontario. We'll have another round of rain come in on a Wednesday in advance of our cold front, and that's the game changer Wednesday evening. You'll start to see some snowfall. This is Wednesday at 3 o'clock. So that means the cold front will come through and the temperatures will tumble. So even though we have a forecast high on Wednesday for 10 degrees as well, the temperature will start to drop off as we head into Wednesday afternoon. By Wednesday night, we will be below freezing. So your forecast tomorrow, 9 degrees by noon, 10 degrees heading into the afternoon with showers, and then rain in the forecast Wednesday. Again, this 10 degrees will be early in the day. Wednesday afternoon, the cold front will come through. We'll transition from rain to flurries with the potential for a bit of snowfall. Now, there is the risk for flurries Thursday and Friday. Daytime highs at the freezing mark. So that's a big drop. In terms of those overnight lows as well, we will see some freezing conditions. So anything out there, any moisture that's withstanding in and around the area will be freezing. Of course, we'll have to watch for some icy roads. Heading into the weekend, -2 the high on Saturday, 2 degrees on Sunday with a rain-snow mix possible, and +1 with flurries on Wednesday. A completely different forecast north of London. So Huron and Perth County, you'll be dealing with flurries. Grey and Bruce County, you'll likely have a multi-day snow squall event, and this could lead to some high-impact weather, potential for some major travel issues as we head through Thursday into Friday. So next couple of days will be quiet with some showers and gusty winds, extremely mild, and then everything changes Wednesday night into Thursday. Gusty winds, a flow off Lake Huron, and that will lead to snow squalls. Thursday, Friday into Saturday, flurries and snow squalls expected with daytime highs from around 1 to 2 degrees. That should be a 60% there. -1 as we head into your Saturday, +2 on Sunday with the risk of a rain-snow mix and at the freezing mark Monday. So Thursday, Friday into Saturday, flurries and snow squalls expected with the potential for some heavy accumulation. Now, northern Huron and Perth County, you may be included in this as well. So we'll be watching that, Carlyle. So a couple mild days and then a major change on the way across the region.
For sure. All right, Julie, thanks very much. Coming up, a boost for southwestern Ontario's auto sector with a third shift coming back to Stellantis in Windsor. Details on the hiring plans when we come back.
For the first time in forever, the story of Elsa and Anna comes to life on the Grand Theatre stage with Disney's Frozen, the Broadway musical, on until January 4th. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to score an Arundel prize pack for 4.
A big hiring spree is expected at Stellantis in Windsor. According to union officials, there are 1,400 positions available for the return of the assembly plant's third shift. Stephanie Mazzani reports.
It's been 5 years since Windsor Assembly's third shift was eliminated. Now it's back, along with 1,400 new jobs.
It's a good news story in the auto industry. It's probably the only good news story in Canada today.
The auto giant promising forecasts for versions of the Chrysler Pacifica and the new six-pack powered Dodge Charger, Scat Pack, and RT models.
So Windsor is an anomaly in the auto industry. The facts are we build two strong products and both in isolation. We're the only plant that builds them. So for the short term and the near future, Windsor is in good shape.
But local applicants won't get first pick. Recently, laid-off workers from the Brampton plant will have the opportunity to transfer after Stellantis announced it's moving its Jeep Compass production to Illinois.
According to our collective agreement, have the first opportunity to come and fill those spots. We don't know how many will come. I don't expect it will be huge, but it'll be, that's a big move for people. It's a big move to move up your whole life from the greater Toronto area to the Windsor area, 4 hours away, where you're not connected to anybody.
President of Unifor Local 444, James Stewart, says 3,000 people applied for the shift a year and a half ago. For positions not filled by Brampton employees, Stellantis will look at those applicants first before opening it up to the public. Stewart says despite this announcement, we need to continue to fight for the auto industry.
You have to bargain in a way that use the leverage of our critical minerals, our oil and gas, our steel and aluminum, bargain with the idea that there's leverage there to protect the auto industry, to protect softwood lumber.
Production on the third shift is scheduled to begin mid-February of next year. Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
Yoplait has issued a recall in Canada because of plastic pieces found in drinkable yogurt products. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has listed the affected products on its website, which includes all flavors of Yoplait 200 milliliter drinkable yogurt. Multi-packs are also covered by the recall, all with best before dates up to January 12th. According to the company, no other Yoplait products are affected, and food safety officials say no injuries have been linked to the affected products. A new survey suggests more Canadians are using artificial intelligence to help with their holiday shopping this year. The survey comes from Shopify, which found 64% of respondents indicated they'll use AI for at least one shopping task this year. That number rises to 84% of respondents in the 18 to 24-year-old age bracket. Canada's main stock index was up today on strength in the technology sector. The TSX gained 444 points. In New York, the Dow added 203, the Nasdaq up 599. The Canadian dollar fell 0.04 cents. On commodity markets, gold gained almost $15 an ounce. Oil is up 78 cents a barrel. Still ahead, the Catholic Central Crusaders and their bid for back-to-back OFSA championships. Welcome back. The CCH Crusaders football team capped off a perfect season today with a provincial championship. Brent Lale has more on the historic victory from Guelph.
The celebration was on. The CCH Crusaders have won back-to-back OFSA Western Bowl titles after a 25-0 shutout win over Bishop Ryan.
Just amazing. We've been here, grade 13's here for 5 years. Last 2 years, just dominant. 25-0, best defense in the country. Feels amazing.
The Crusaders dominated the time of possession, but didn't punch in a touchdown until the final seconds of the opening half. In the third, Keyshawn Manning broke free for a long touchdown run to extend the lead to 17-0, his second touchdown of the game.
Came out, it was a bit slow at the start. Came out at halftime, banged that long one, and the boys started rolling on from there. I got hurt last OFSA. I knew this was going to be a big one, especially for my last one. So
the defense did the rest. They were hounding the quarterback all day long. A.J. Davis with a pair of sacks.
Defense has been good all year. Comes down to the boys in practice. We do hitting drills all year, every year. It just comes down to it. Means a lot going back to back.
The Crusaders, ranked #1 in the province by the high school coaches, are the first London team in 20 years to win back-to-back OFSA titles.
It's a special group, and I credit it to our leadership. We have a great group of players. We have great coaching staff, our teacher coaches, our volunteer coaches, so many alumni who come back to support our school and what we do here in sports. That makes it possible and really gives our student athletes the best experience.
In Guelph, Brent Lale, CTV News.
Police in the Greater Toronto area say they've charged a 25-year-old man accused of fatally shooting his father in Brampton. They say Nicholas Jaglal has been charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder. According to police, Jaglal shot his father inside a home over the weekend. They say the father was in his 50s and he was found dead at the scene. High-ranking Canadian officials are suggesting a new defense force made up of volunteers. They would be called upon to help the country when natural disasters strike, as well as man-made catastrophes. Judy Trin reports.
Facing rising threats from climate change and competing states testing Canada's sovereignty, military strategists want the federal government to create a volunteer defense corps made up of 300,000 citizens.
When we're thinking about the number of
events and domestic operations we've had in terms of fighting forest fires and so on. So this is all part of our transformation effort, and all Canadians will be, of course, voluntarily invited to serve.
The document, drafted by the Strategic Joint Staff, says the force would have less restrictive age limits and lower physical standards and fitness requirements. The plan hasn't been approved by the government, but the Defence Minister supports the idea.
The notion of having a civil force or civil group of Canadians who are ready, willing, and able to serve their country is something that has been talked about for years in Canada. It's something that our allies are doing and pursuing very, very actively.
In countries like Sweden and Finland, hundreds of thousands of citizens are trained to operate bomb shelters and respond to natural disasters. Under Canada's plan, the volunteers would get 5 days of training each year to learn how to shoot a gun, drive a truck, and operate a drone. They would not be paid.
It's no surprise that the Department of National Defence and Canadian Armed Forces would look to many sources to recruit people from, including people who are already dedicated to public service. They may be federal, they may be provincial, they may be municipal, they may be in business, they may be in the banking sector, they may be on Bay Street.
But the number of volunteer recruits may be too ambitious when the Canadian military is still dealing with a shortage of 15,000 soldiers.
McGuinty says he's confident the $82 billion the federal government earmarked for defense in this year's budget will lead to more interest in the military and more recruits. Judy Trin, CTV News, Toronto.
Tomorrow on CTV News, the final budget debate in Sarnia and potential funding for new police headquarters. The latest on that discussion tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
A beautiful pink sky to share with you this evening. Thank you to my friend Marianne for sending this photo in. Her sister Lone took this photograph and wanted to share it with all of you. Cloudy conditions and mild temperatures overnight. Showers on Tuesday, lingering into your Wednesday, and flurries invade Thursday with the risk of snow squalls developing in Midwestern Ontario.
A Huron County farmer is getting ready for a national political debate this week. Tony McQuail is running for the federal NDP leadership, taking the stage with his fellow candidates in Montreal on Thursday. With more on his political prospects, here's Scott Miller.
I think it's pretty fair to say that Tony McQuail is the only NDP leadership hopeful spending his debate preparation hauling hay behind two horses.
I'm trying to get enough hay out that I can leave the cattle on the winter pasture while I'm away, and they'll have their feed, and I'll be in Montreal trying to put forward some ideas.
McQuail is one of 5 candidates who want to lead the federal NDP party. The first official debate takes place this Thursday in Montreal and will be held mostly in French, which admittedly is not McQuail's strong suit.
In Montreal, I'll be talking un peu français, a little French.
McQuail's strong suit is walking the walk. For 45 years, he's been a regenerative farmer near Lucknow, using mostly horses instead of gas-powered tractors to work his land. His green progressive platform is based on the 4 R's: representation, regeneration, redistribution, and redesign, with a heavy focus on starting to reverse decades of environmental damage caused by pro-growth economic policies.
I think we need to be talking seriously about degrowth, how we share the wealth we already have in ways that help us build our communities. And I'd like to see a program that works with nature clubs and environmental groups and pollution cleanup and municipal councils to fix the things in their neighborhood that start regenerating what we need to do to heal the planet, the damage that we've already done.
McQuail had initially said if elected leader, he would try to merge the Green Party with the NDP to stop vote splitting on the left. He's since abandoned that plan, but thinks there still should only be one candidate from either party on the ballot in each riding come the next election.
We don't have time to merge parties. Merging parties takes a lot of work and a lot of effort.
McQuail has run for the NDP 7 times over the past 45 years, 5 federally and twice provincially. He's never won, and he knows he is in tough in this race as well. Although he's short nearly $30,000 in required funds to stay in the race, he's directed supporters to help push Tenille Johnston, a BC social worker, over the fundraising threshold by November 30th before restarting his fundraising.
We got to make sure that at least one of us gets into the race, and I'd like it to be her if it's not going to be me.
There is a final fundraising push on deadline day, November 30th, he says, but even if his bid falls short, McQuill says he'll give it his all on Thursday with a national audience watching. Near Lucknow, Scott Miller, CTV News.
American and Ukrainian officials say they've drafted a peace framework after a previous attempt was deemed too pro-Russia. As these talks play out, Russia is launching more fierce attacks on Ukraine, including a massive drone strike on Ukraine's second largest city close to the Russian border. Ukrainian officials say recent strikes killed 4 people and injured several others.
We all continue working with partners, especially the United States, and look for compromises that strengthen but not weaken us. And we will continue explaining how dangerous it is to pretend that aggression is something one can simply overlook and move on.
A U.S. federal judge has dismissed criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey, as well as New York Attorney General Letitia James. Each of them had found themselves the target of Donald Trump's anger. With more on what today's decision means for the president, here's Joy Melvin.
James Comey was Donald Trump's FBI director in his first term and at the top of the president's political enemies list after he led the investigation into alleged ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. Today, vindication.
The message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies. I don't care what your politics are. You have to see that as fundamentally un-American.
The case dismissed after federal judge Cameron Curry concluded Lindsay Halligan, Donald Trump's handpicked lawyer who had no experience as a prosecutor, was illegally appointed. Ms. Halligan had no lawful authority to present the indictment, the judge said, concluding they were unlawful exercises of executive power. New York's Attorney General Letitia James says she is heartened by the judge's ruling. In 2022, James successfully sued Trump and the Trump Corporation for millions of dollars in a civil fraud case.
Donald Trump engaged in deceptive business practices and tremendous fraud.
The president then went after her over a mortgage loan, but the judge also dismissed that case on the same grounds as Comey, saying the prosecutor's appointment was invalid.
The whole thing was improper. I mean, I think this was an obvious one. I would have been shocked if the judge allowed this case to continue. So I think these two cases are doomed, whether it's procedurally or substantively.
Comey's lawyer says he can't be recharged because of the statute of limitations has passed, but it is possible they try and recharge James. The White House says today's judgment will not be their final word. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
It's time to build a toy mountain. Make this holiday season merry for so many kids. Bring new unwrapped toys to CF Masonville Place.
All in support of the Salvation Army. We will be collecting donations November 21st to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community. Toy Mountain, supported by Gomez Appliances, London Bass Center, and UBC Built Local 1946.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever. Visit ctvlondon.ca for more ways to donate.
Finally tonight, a community gathering in northwest London this weekend for the annual Santa Claus Parade. With more on the festivities, here's Brent Lale.
Volunteers collected much-needed cash and food donations during the Hyde Park Santa Claus Parade.
The numbers continues to grow, and we're seeing new individuals who have not accessed before are accessing the food bank.
The biggest needs include baby formula, food, and hygiene items.
When you walk into any Shoppers Drug Mart or any stores, you're seeing the baby formula is locked up because it's so expensive. And it's really hard for families who have little ones to make a choice between buying baby food or other items.
It's why the work on this parade by the Hyde Park Lions and the BIA is so crucial.
Christmas. The food bank plays such an important role in our community, and of course it's from the generosity of people who donate at events like this, which really helps them keep stocked and helps people through the holiday season.
Thousands lined Gainsborough Road.
Started many years ago on a shoestring budget, in fact no budget, and over the years it's grown. We have some huge sponsors, huge support. Money that is raised through the parade does go back to nonprofits in need or charitable organizations to help people in need during the Christmas season.
We love the Hyde Park Parade. This is our second award we've won in the past 4 years, and it's just a fun thing that we all get to do as the landscape department and the whole company to just design and build a float and just work on it together.
We're doing 10 Christmas parades this year. It's a hillbilly thing, and I don't know if people relate to it, but when we see the kids with the smiles and they start jumping up and down to the music, it warms us.
And as Santa Claus wrapped up the annual parade, which had more than 50 entries, Mayor Morgan said thank you to everyone.
I appreciate the generosity of Londoners, especially this time of year.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.
To give to food